Good morning. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. Did I get this plugged in? Okay. Hi. Jennifer DeVue here, self-love specialist, hypnotherapist, life coach, host of Tune Into You. And today I want to talk to you about being an empath, feeling everything, and how to move about in the world in a way where that doesn't have to be draining, that doesn't have to be the reality for you that it is so for so many. Good morning, Kiki. Jason here. Check. All right. And she wants to say hi because she is the noisiest, most demanding kitty. And as soon as I go live, she says, "Mom!" Just like that. Hi. Hello, as you're hopping in. Good morning. Good to see you. So, let me know. Are you one of those people who feels everything? I see you, Ryan. Me too. Absolutely. I am someone who is so incredibly psychic, so incredibly aware, so incredibly sensitive. And even before I would define myself in any of those ways, the word empath has resonated with me. Now, if you're unfamiliar, empath, being empathic, is the ability to kind of experience or understand or know what someone else is feeling. Those of us who typically identify as empaths are people who are super sensitive to what everyone's feeling all the time. And I won't go into too much of the theory around why that is or, any of that. Doesn't even matter. What really matters to me is that this isn't something that's a burden to you. What really matters to me is that this isn't something that's holding you back, bringing you down, keeping you from doing things, and a hindrance in your life. Now, I know that it can be, so I want to talk about that a little bit. Many of us who are empaths and empathic feel like we can't be around big groups of people, or we can't be around lots of people for a long period of time. Doing one-on-one work, healing work, these types of things is very draining. It takes a lot from us. And I really acknowledge and admire and send my appreciation to all those who still do, because I know that there are so many empaths who they still do. They still go out, they still have nursing jobs, they're still, practice Reiki, they still do healing circles, and they give and give and give, even though at the end of that day, they are exhausted, they're drained, they are burnt out. They're like, get away from me, world. And as an empath, it can also be challenging even in our families, even in relationships. Are you drained by your partner's energy because you're so sensitive to it, because you're taking it on and you're just absorbing it like a sponge, as they like to say? And I'm taking a lot of this terminology from what I've heard, other empath teachers say. But I will note for you right now, before we even dive in, that my teaching and how I teach people to overcome the drain of empathy and overcome this burden of it is completely different than how most other empath teachers are teaching this. Completely different. So I'm going to give you today an incredibly juicy nugget, a teaching, the main core of my teaching from the Embodied Empath workshop. I'm going to give you a taste of that today. And I really, really encourage you to be open to this, because I know it's different. It's different than what you usually hear, but I also know that it works for anyone who uses it, and that it not only can really help us to move beyond this very quickly, but it also helps us to transcend that paradigm of empath, narcissist, drain kind of world that we can live in, that we do live in right now. It helps us to transcend that. So the more people who know this technique for overcoming the drain of empathy, the, the more people are going to be moving us into that new paradigm. So that's why it's so important, I feel, for me to share this with you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the hearts. All right, let's dive in. So, a lot of teachers out there will tell you to put up a wall or a bubble or a shield to protect your energetic space from other people's energy. They say, this is mine, that is yours. Protect, seal, ground. And now, because I have established this clear boundary, this separation, I don't have to take on your energy and be drained by it. What I've noticed is that in acute situations where it's boom, there's someone walks into the room and they're just like raw with emotion, and you feel yourself, right, experiencing that really quickly, just whoop, can be really helpful. Can be really helpful on an energetic level. Just put up that. But for most of us, empathy is not in acute situations. It's not just once in a while. It's all the time. All the time when we're not even thinking about it. And so just putting up that wall isn't really going to do the trick. And it wouldn't do the trick for me with my one-on-one clients. I'm there to be with them. I'm there to be present with them. And so just putting up a wall and be like, it won't allow me to do my job. And so there's got to be another way. And there is. And let me share it with you right now. So, dun, 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 dun. Okay. Here's the other strategy. And I call it affectionately, be the space. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's say that I'm in a session with someone and I'm being with this person and we're here and they're, pouring out all of these emotions, all of these limiting beliefs and all of these thoughts and feelings, and I'm aware of all of them. Now, if I'm putting up a wall and trying to hold back, I'm resisting those emotions, those thoughts, because I don't want them. It takes a lot of energy to hold up that wall. It takes a lot of energy to push back on those emotions. And when we're doing that, when we're like this with the energy against whatever that emotion is that we're aware of, we're actually holding on to it. We're holding up that wall. We're holding that emotion back. We're holding it. And what I've found is that when I can be the space, which means I drop all the walls, all the barriers, and I allow myself to be aware of all the emotions and all the thoughts without holding any of them, then I can be the space that they can move in, they can pass through. And when I walk out of there, they just pass right through me because I'm just the space. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to stick to. So, how do you do that? How do I do that? How do I be the space so that I can be with people even in deep grief, even in incredible anger and hurt, and walk away without taking any of it on, feeling energized, feeling free? And it's because there's nothing in me for it to stick to. They say I like to say, if something lands, it had something to land on. And what does that mean? It means that someone's sharing or someone's feeling something and you're aware of what they're feeling. And it triggers something in you. Maybe you had a similar experience. Maybe there's something from your past that you shoved down that you still haven't acknowledged. And it lands on that feeling that's already within you and it sticks. And then as you're walking about your day, you feel heavy, like, oh, why am I so drained, so exhausted from being with this person or being in this space? I must be taking on all their emotions. Well, yes, you are, because it landed on something that was already within you. Because it landed on something that was already within you. So, in order to be the space, it takes the awareness not only of what you're experiencing, what that emotion or thought is that's in the space with you, that this other person might be bringing up, but it also takes the awareness to notice what's in you that's being brought up by their emotion. What emotion is being triggered in you because of what they're feeling? And when you can notice that, you can drop it. You can let it go. Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. Okay. Let that flow. Let it flow through. And I often say to myself, if I notice myself getting tense or getting heavy in a session with someone, I'll say, pull it through, let it pull it through. And I imagine being that space and letting all those thoughts, letting all those emotions just flow through, not holding on to any of them, not having to resist or react or push it, put up a wall or a barrier, just letting it flow through. And it just flows right through and out the other side, and I don't take any of it with me. So let's try it on right now. And the other reason that I feel that this technique for overcoming the drain of empathy is so important for us to learn is because being the space, not only is this going to allow you to really be with people and you know get back any of those activities that you avoid because you're an empath, but it also allows us to step into a new paradigm of consciousness. This is the direction consciousness is going, that ability to be the space, to be aware of what's in the space without resisting or reacting to any of it. So let's practice. So I can't wait for you to experience all of the benefits of this practice in your life, not just in situations where you're being an empath and you're absorbing others' emotions, but also any situation. Bringing this awareness of being able to be the space allows us to have so much more awareness in the moment with ourselves. And when we can really see ourselves, we can change our whole life. So let's do it. Let's try it. So if you want to join me today in this little meditation practice, go ahead now and get comfortable and settle in. Hmm. All right, that's beautiful. So I'm going to show this comment. So this is the experience of someone who has gone through the Embodied Empath workshop, and it sounds like has really been applying some of those teachings in their everyday life. So she says, I've been getting excited about going into spaces where I know I'll be open to others because my happiness and excitement can be good emotions to share. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, one of the things that we talk about in the Embodied Empath workshop is not only being the space, but also being the space for others to be the one who's influencing the emotions that are in the space, be the one who's choosing what emotions others are picking up on. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so go ahead and settle in. If you'd like to close your eyes and start to notice your breath, breathing deeply, slowly. And I want you to imagine whatever part of your body is touching the chair or the cushion, wherever you're sitting or lying down, whatever part of your body is touching that. I want you to imagine this just getting very heavy now. Just very heavy. Almost like there's a weighted blanket just weighing you down, just so heavy. And just let that heaviness bring you deeper inside of yourself as you notice the gravity. Notice how you're held, supported by the surface beneath you. Take another deep breath, settling in even more. And as you imagine just this gentle, comfortable heaviness, you might notice it more in your arms or maybe your legs. And it just beckons you to settle in, even deeper relaxed. And as you find this place within to settle, I'd like you to take note of what's happening inside of you right now. In this moment, are there any sensations, any emotions? Notice your body, if it's tight or tense anywhere. Notice if you feel loose, relaxed. And just let it be. Just noticing the sensations within. Noticing the temperature of the air in your skin. Start to notice the sounds and the space around you. And I want you to imagine that you can just let all those walls and barriers just melt away, dropping them down into the earth. Just imagining any walls you have between you and others, or between you and the deeper parts of yourself. Imagine you can let those go now. You can just let those go. And you can be so present in this moment that you become the space in which everything around you is. You become the space in which your body resides. You become the space in which your emotions reside. You become the space for every object in the room. And when there are others in the space, you become the space for them as well. By just being. And I want you to imagine that you can sense the energy in the room around you. The unique way that this room feels right now. And imagine that you can let that energy move through you. And imagine now you can pull it through. So go ahead, pull the energy through your body. And even beyond your body, pull the energy through the space of you. Feel it flowing through you. Not holding on to anything. Just letting it be as it is. You can still be aware of the energy inside of you as well. Moving. And then let that go. And you may become aware of a stillness inside or around you. And the more familiar, the more comfortable you could become with this stillness, the more powerful you become. They say the alpha in the room is the person who is the most aware of their own breath. So now anytime you're in a space and you remember that you're breathing right now, let that be the reminder to be the space. And let any thoughts, any emotions in the space, yours or not, simply flow through. No need to hold on to anything at all. And coming back now, you can open your eyes. And I hope that this practice is valuable for you. If you have questions or comments, let me know. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for taking this time to tune in. So much love, honor, gratitude, respect to you. Namaste. And I'll see you again on Wednesday morning. So tell your friends. Bye for now.